Hey everybody, this is Henry Gilbert.
And this is Hollander Cooper.
And we have a Pokedex in front of us for X and Y that...
with everything.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, and not only everything, like just looking at them, but we have the descriptions for every single Pokemon. We've caught them all.
You have caught at least of the X and Y.
Yes, all of the new Pokemon, and we know which ones are exclusive to which version, and we know how to evolve all of them. So we're going to discuss that as we go. But let's start with the starters, fittingly. So, of course, we're going to start with Chespin. I mean, we've all seen Chespin, a bunch of stuff. He's pretty cute, and we've seen his evolution, Quilladin, who I think is adorable.
Yeah, he's my favorite second-level evolution.
Yeah, but then it all kind of falls apart with the third one. Chestnut was my main. I really don't like his third evolution.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the third evolution of Oshawott.
Yeah.
Where it just became they just armored up a guy and got rid of all the cuteness.
Yeah, and then we move on to, I think, probably unanimous decision of the coolest looking first starter, Fennekin. Yeah. Adorable Fennec Fox, and then Braxian is just kind of weird looking, like a lot of, if you can't see it from here, but behind her she has a stick.
Yeah, it's like a broom on her tail.
It's like she can take it out.
Ears explode.
Yeah, and then the third evolution, it just kind of, I don't know what's going on with Delphox.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Fire Psychic, which is an awesome combo.
That is awesome, but I mean, it looks like a cool, fancy lady.
Yeah. But, and then meanwhile, Froakie, I think, was most people's least favorite first one, like the starter, goes into Frogadier, which is pretty cool.
I like that stance.
And then look at this! Look how badass that is!
Wow, that is really cool.
Greninja his tongue is his scarf.
That is really cool.
He's a frog version of Strider. He's water dark.
And he just has ninja in his name.
And he learns moves like Water Shuriken.
Man, and those pointy ears, that is...
He is cool.
He is definitely the best third version.
Yeah. So then you go to Bunnelby, you get to some of the trade fodder.
Right.
Bunnelby, which it's kind of cool because it says that like he uses his ears as shovels to dig holes. And then looking at Diggersby, he looks like he has a barrel around him.
Well, yeah, it looks like almost his regular arms are like T-Rex arms, and it's just his ears that do all the work.
He looks like a Popeye villain.
Yeah.
So now we have Fletchling, who is just adorable.
Yeah, I thought he was like, the sparrow-ish dude of this one, or the lame bird, but I think he looks cooler than a lot of
his evolutions are cool, too. His mid-evolution's probably his coolest. Fletchinder, I can't even... Some of these Pokemon names.
Fletchinder, maybe?
Just scream in the comments about how wrong we are. Fletchinder. And then it turns into the fire-flying Talonflame.
I love Talonflame.
Who is just straight awesome.
Yeah. The little... I never saw it before. The speckling underswings is really cool,
yeah,
too.
they went all in on this one. Then you got Scatterbug. Just a bug.
Little pill bug.
Just a little bug. Turns into a Spupa.
Oh, it's that type of thing.
Yep, yeah. And you know where this is going. Boom!
Butterfree.
Yeah.
I mean Vivillon.
Yeah.
Totally different from Butterfree.
Couldn't be any more different.
Yep.
All right, now you got Litleo.
Again, this guy kind of reminds me of what was it, Shinx, or from the other lion type, though. This guy's got a rounder design. I like his round face.
Yeah, and it turns into Pyroar. Which is an awesome Pokemon with a giant mane.
I love the look of this one. It looks so cool.
And there is a female lioness as well, and it does look different.
Lionesses are tougher than lions anyway.
Exactly. So now we have Flabebe. So these are cool because I'm pretty sure these are in these guys. Depending on where you find them, that you only find them in flowers instead of in grass. And the color of their flower will change depending on what type of flower you find them in. So blue flowers,
cool.
pink flowers, yellow.
That is weird that it's all fairy instead of fairy grass.
Yeah.
Expected.
Turns into a Floette, who...
Again, the color of the
color of
thing.
the flower.
That makes
sense. Highest level.
Ooh.
It is weird that it's a garden Pokemon that's straight fairy. I will agree with that.
Yeah, but I guess, they want to pack the decks, as it were, with fairies, just to make up for lost time.
Yeah, and let's just say that it sort of says it in the description. It's not actually a plant. It just lives amongst them. Mm-hmm. It claims the flower gardens as its territory.
But did you know they backdated, or they retconned some Pokemon into fairy type?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Most
there were
famously Jigglypuff.
Well, I mean, there were a bunch of Pokemon that were fairies, they said.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah, it made sense. Moving on to Skiddo, a cute goat-looking guy.
Billy Goat, yeah.
Little Billy Goat, just grass type, turns into Go-Goat. One of my favorite names for a new Pokemon.
Go-Goat.
Yeah.
And he's one you can ride, like it says there, Mount Pokemon.
Yeah, you can ride him around some of the cities. Now we have Pancham, who might be one of the coolest looking ones as far as I'm considered. Just an adorable fighting panda.
Yeah, he looks just like a badass kung fu guy.
Yeah, though it says in his description he's trying to be intimidating, but he really can't because he's too cute. But he turns into a fighting dark Pangoro, and the way that happens is after level 35, if you level him up when there is a dark Pokemon in your party, he gets corrupted or something and turns into Pangoro.
Ooh, I like that. That it only when an evil influence is there can he turn into Pangoro.
And you'll see, like, he goes from cute and then his eyes turn like black, and he just turns. He looks like he's ready to screw you up.
Yeah.
There's also Frou-Frou, who Fur-Frou. I've always been calling it Frou-Frou. It's a normal type. Its main thing is you can get its hair styled in a salon.
I see.
That's all Fur-Frou has going for it. It's a sad existence. Then there's Esper, who it's kind of like a creepy cat, sort of.
I like that.
It's a restraint Pokemon.
Restraint.
Yeah, and then it turns into Meowstic, who I think they found a way to make another Meowth type character that doesn't look like a ripoff. I like that.
It seems like it's kind of in between Mewtwo and Meowth, where it's like it's like a kitten psychic Pokemon.
Yeah, and its power is so immense in the description. It just describes how immense its power is.
Too immense.
Next up, we have Honedge, who at first I didn't like, but it kind of fits in. It's a steel ghost. It is a possessed sword.
I like that it carries around its scabbard. I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, in fantasy, there's always swords that talk or anything. It's essentially just that.
The singing sword.
He's
all that
Frostmourne.
Kind of
It's an evil, power-hungry sword, and he turns into Doublade, or Doublade. I don't know where you'd put the emphasis on that one. You got Steel Ghost still. And it turns into Aegislash, who actually has his moves. Some of his moves change his stance, and he will actually like take out a sword and be holding a sword and a shield, and have different stats and everything.
All right, if that was just what it looked like all the time, I was like, I don't know.
He can kind of change his stance around, and it's probably one of the Pokemon. I'd be surprised if you don't see him in a lot of parties, just because he has a high skill ceiling of learning when to use his different moves.
Man, it manipulates and controls people and Pokemon.
He's probably responsible for a lot of wars.
Yeah, what a jerk.
We got Spritzy. Looks like when I first looked at it, I thought it was a fish, but it's actually a perfume Pokemon that just kind of flies around.
That fits with the whole like French theme.
Yeah, and it turns into what I believe is the most blatantly attempt at a sexy Pokemon for some weird way. Aromatisse, who just kind of like legs sticking out like she's pulling up her dress.
Oh yeah, well, maybe it's like a can dancer.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that the way you evolve Aromatisse from Spritzy is you have to give it the sachet, which is an item, it's like a perfumey item, and then trade the Pokemon. It's one of the ones you give an item and trade, and this is actually exclusive to Y.
Okay.
So this Evo. And then these guys are actually exclusive to X. So you got Swirlix, who just has the dumbest expression. It has almost like a pug, like a cartoon pug face.
Yeah.
The Cotton Candy Pokemon. And if you give it Whipped Dream, which is an item you can find around the world, it becomes Slurpuff.
A meringue Pokemon.
Because apparently Pokemon can be meringue now.
I bet it tastes delicious.
I would assume so. Rolling on, we got Inkay. So Inkay we have to talk about for a second. So look at Inkay.
Right. Yep.
It has tentacles on the bottom. It's a little squid, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. Its description is the revolving Pokemon. Turns into Malmar, who looks like an upside-down Inkay.
Oh, yeah, it does.
The way you evolve this Pokemon is you get it to level 30 or so. When it's leveling up, you turn your 3DS upside down, and it evolves.
What?
That was the rumor beforehand. I messed with it. I couldn't get it to evolve before level 30, so there's a chance I was just flipping my 3DS upside down like an idiot over and over again. But at level 30 or so, I flipped my 3DS upside down when it leveled, and it was in the description, overturning Pokemon.
Well, that's really cool, but how would you know that? Like, why would you, if you follow
Games Radar's YouTube channel, you'd have a an easy way to figure it out.
Yes, now you got the inside scoop, guys.
Yeah, so here's Binacle.
It's like an underwater duo.
Barnacle kind of thing, yeah. But here's the difference. So you know how Ditto becomes, you get 3 Dittos in his evolution for Dugtrio? Look at this evolution!
Oh, wow, that's more like if they came together like Voltron.
Exactly.
Or
so
awesome.
Barbacle is pretty awesome.
Rock Water, I like that
Yeah.
too.
Then you have Skrelp, who's actually exclusive to Y. No weird evolution tactic as far as I can remember when it turns into Dragolage, who's a cool-looking poison dragon.
Oh, I like an
It
underwater
pretends to
poison
be
dragon.
kelp.
Mock kelp.
Yes.
Weird.
Moving on to Clauncher, who's exclusive to X.
Shrimpy dude.
And so he's essentially he's a crab kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or a lobster. And then he turns into Clawitzer, who is super cool looking.
What is... Oh, I get it. It's like those crabs where with the claw, one bigger than the other, but taken to an insane extreme.
And his description is the lobster that never had a girlfriend.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, we did it. Helioptile.
Yeah,
He's a generator Pokemon.
The little flaps on his heads move around, right?
Yeah, he's pretty cute. Turns into Heliolisk.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's an electric.
Looks like
normal.
those lizards that run really fast.
And I think his ability, like he does like the what's the Pokemon? Not the Pokemon, the dinosaur that has like the flaps that open on its side.
Oh,
Diagnosis. The one, the one that kills
the
Nedry.
one that kills Newman.
Yeah. At one point in the game, you're given an option between 2 different fossils, and one of them gets you a T-Rex.
He looks so like the little version of him looks so awesome.
A little Tyrunt.
Yeah, like his just a big chicken, big featherless chicken.
Yep,
I
but
love that.
he turns into something that is unmistakable.
Ooh.
And he turns into something that you can't mistake for anything other than a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. He has a crown. He has like a collar thing going on.
Yeah, like a giant frilly collar.
Yeah, he
a
is
lot of frills.
Powerful too.
I love that. Oh man, he's gonna be my guy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely. The other fossil gets you a Mora rock ice Pokemon. Pretty cool looking.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Yeah, and turns into the beautiful Aurorus.
I do like that look. I feel like I always loved T-Rexes more as a kid, though, so I think I'm still going to go with the other one,
who could blame you?
Yeah.
Who in their right mind?
Though most people will probably have him, so he'll be different.
Hey, it's Sylveon!
We all know this one.
Yeah, you can, you gotta level, you have to use Pokemon Ami a bunch to level up Sylveon, and there's probably a link on the screen right now where you can click on Sylveon, and it'll take you to a lengthy tutorial showing you exactly how to get Sylveon, because we don't feel like spending 5 minutes explaining it here. But so there's Sylveon!
The ribbons are feelers.
Yes.
Yeah,
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hawlucha, who's one of my favorites. I wish he had an evolution.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I love this guy.
So if you look closely, his eyes are actually sunk in as if the face was a mask.
Yeah.
Like you can see it a little. And the coolest thing about it, like at first he looks totally ridiculous, but if you really think about it, like there are birds of paradise who look as ridiculous as this. Luchador is a wrestling Pokemon, flying, fighting. He has some of the coolest animations. He does like flying elbow drop kind of things.
Oh, that's awesome. Flying, fighting. I don't think you see that combo much.
No, it doesn't make any sense unless you make a Luchador.
Yes.
All right, number 702 is Pikachu. Oh wait, that's not Pikachu.
Oh, that's right. It's an electric fairy.
Yeah, it's electric fairy. It could not look any more Pikachu-like. I mean, I guess there's some kind of electric mouse thing in Japan that Americans don't fully understand.
Well, there's and there's like Didan. That's sort of a pun on the Japanese word for electric.
Oh.
But they always have to have the mouse with the rodent with the red cheeks. Like they always have those.
Well, and here it is. Then we got the Jewel Pokemon Carbink, who is Rock Fairy. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Gumi. Gumi is the weakest dragon Pokemon in existence.
I'm glad they at least spell it out. A soft tissue. He's nothing like Gomi, the tough guy from Breaking Bad.
Nothing like it. But no worries, because he turns into Sliggoo, a slightly stronger dragon Pokemon.
That's a dragon slug? Like that's a lame dragon.
But it is all worthwhile because Goodra.
He looks kind of cool.
Pretty badass.
I like that he's like a drippy dragon. That is kind of cool.
He's like a dragon with a cold.
Well, yeah, just covered in mucus.
Yeah.
Dragon covered in mucus.
Delicious.
Ugh.
Then we have Klefki, who at first I hated based solely on the fact that a keychain Pokemon is stupid. But if you look at the description, it says that it never lets go of keys it likes, so people give it keys to vaults and safes as a way to prevent crime. So it's actually just sort of like a hoop that people put keys on.
Yeah, that's less silly.
It's a little less silly.
Yeah.
And he's Steel Fairy, which is
that's also
interesting.
Strange, yeah.
Phantump, a Stump Pokemon. It is a Ghost Grass, and I believe that he is he's a trait evolution, turning into Trevenant, who was revealed earlier, another Ghost Grass Pokemon. It's kind of funny. At first you're like, oh my god, it's a giant awesome tree. He's 4'11".
Oh, yeah, that's kind of short for a tree.
Kind of a small tree. I have no idea why they decided to make him so small.
I like his look. And also, real quick, on Pokemon X and Y Weekly, we had asked the viewers to think of an evil tree name for that guy when he was unnamed. Like, Treevil was one of them.
Right.
But I think Trevenant is better. I love
like
tree plus deviant.
Yep, they pulled it off. Then we have a Ghost Grass Pumpkaboo. It's a jack-o'-lantern, which is actually kind of cool. It makes sense that a pumpkin would be Ghost Grass. Like, that's one that's like, okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it turns into the very beautiful Gourgeist.
I like that one a lot. That'll definitely be part of the Halloween Pokemon groups I always see at the Pokemon Center every year when I go there.
Yes, and it's also, this one is a trait evolution, so to get that level up, you got to trade it. Move on to Bergmite, which is just like Berg, like an iceberg, Mite, like a little mite.
That's cute.
Turns into Avalugg, who is a big 1,000-pound, 6-foot-tall ice block.
Jeez.
It's pretty awesome. Another dragon, Noibat. A
really
Soundwave Pokemon. Yeah, it's a bat, but it's a flying dragon. I guess somebody at a Game Freak was like, we don't have bat type. I guess dragon's the closest thing.
Yeah, those ears, man.
Yeah, but he turns into a pretty cool looking Pokemon in Noivern, kind of a Wyvern.
Yeah,
Noivern, I guess.
Yeah, I like him.
Still flying primary, but he's a pretty strong Pokemon if you get him leveled up. He turns into a pretty competitive.
Even without a third evolution, he's still pretty competitive.
Still pretty good. On to the legendaries. So there are only 3, as far as I can tell. There may be more for events or something, but in my 140-plus hours combined in the 2 versions, I've only found 3. First is Xerneas, obviously is an X.
Pure Fairy.
Pure Fairy. And then there's Yveltal in Y, who I love. Dark Flying.
Yeah, I feel out of the 2, I am more there for Yveltal.
Also, if anybody were to ever kill Yveltal, look at its description. When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and turns into a cocoon once more. It would destroy the world.
Wow. It's every living thing.
Every last thing. Yeah, and then we have the other one. I mean, you have X, Y, and you got to have Z, Zygarde.
Oh, I didn't see this coming.
Yeah,
I figured they'd save
right?
Z for the next game.
Nope. So you got a Dragon Ground. It's kind of cool. And the animations are neat because it sort of like flickers a little. All of these Pokemon are super powerful. But yeah, so those are the legendaries.
Well, this may be spoilery, but can you get all the legendaries in each game, or is only X and Y available?
X and Y are available in X and Y.
Only those?
Only.
Okay.
You got to trade back and forth to get them, as far as I can tell.
I see.
But, so, that's it.
Wow.
Those are the Pokemon. There are 69 right now.
Ha.
There's a lot of rumors that the 70th is going to be somewhere out there. It does end at 718. Granted, 719 isn't a much more compelling number.
I feel like people will... some evil hacker will find out if there's a 70th
whether or not this game has its Mew. There are they're already planning events and stuff, and it would be easier than ever to give out special Pokemon.
Well, Arceus was known for a long time in Diamond and Pearl before he ever was available.
Yeah. But yeah. Some people are going to be let down. Only 69 new Pokemon, but some cool variety in there. And
plus, you got all those Mega Evolutions.
You got a lot of Mega Evolutions, which is another video on our YouTube showing off all the Mega Evolutions and where to get them. Mm-hmm. That's an important thing.
So watch all of those and subscribe to our channel. Comment on this one and keep watching for more Pokemon and other video coverage on Games Radar's YouTube page.